There's something about the sun, the strength, and the stretch. Thoroughly bred for speed, 1,200 pounds of power on 4 fragile ankles. The odd mix of fragility with ability as they go 0 to 40 in a couple of jumps.
Lou, when there's trouble.
Problem is, they can go 40 to 0 just as fast.
Danzig Moon has come out of the race and come back and come down, in fact.
They never show what happens next. After Kentucky Derby 5th place finisher Danzig Moon went down last month at Woodbine with a broken leg, he was put down. Last year, 583 thoroughbreds were euthanized at North American racetracks. 2 out of every 1,000 thoroughbreds that start a race will be finished before they finish. Despite all the miracles performed every day at equine hospitals across America, all the drilling and sewing and ultrasounding, you never see a thoroughbred in a prosthetic leg. One vet's been trying for decades to turn the horse world upside down.
The options are there to do an amputation with a prosthetic. And
Dr. Rick Redden is ready, and he makes house calls.
Do some people think you're a crackpot?
Well, I'm living way beyond my time.
Dozens of horses have lived beyond their time because he's been replacing horses' limbs with prosthetics for so long. Some of the video is grainy.
He'd be turned out and he'd lose his leg and he'd be running around 3-legged and you go out and stick his leg back on, and it's not brain surgery.
His surgery center, not exactly Mayo Clinic.
Because I put a pin there to support him for the first 4 or 5 weeks. And I didn't even have enough skin to cover the bone up.
Some of his medical props look like 7th grade art projects.
If you cut that blood supply here, you have no potential for healing.
But of the more than 50 horses he's fitted with prosthetics, he's never been allowed to save a thoroughbred.
A thoroughbred racehorse would be an ideal candidate to do because he's healthy, he's in all respects.
A couple of other vets around the country are saving horses with prosthetics, but not thoroughbreds. Redden's cost is $30,000 to $50,000 because it's a 5-month rehab. $50,000 may be nothing to wealthy thoroughbred owners paying millions for talent and getting thousands for stud fees. I reached out to a world-renowned equine hospital, a track, and owners for reasons why attempts aren't made to save thoroughbreds with prosthetics. No one would talk about it. It seems something happens at the moment of truth.
They had her on the van getting ready to put her down and she was pawing and the leg was flipping and flying. I go, everybody relax, give me 5 minutes, let me stabilize that limb. I'll throw a cast on it. As soon as you get it stabilized, they're happy.
What did they say once you made that plea? In that situation you were just talking about?
They asked me to leave.
Wow.
They asked me to leave. I was heartbroken.
How long can horses live with a prosthetic? This is Gideon. A couple of days ago in Virginia, 19 years after Doc Redden was allowed to amputate rather than eliminate. And the 2 foals Gideon bred with a prosthetic are glad someone took a genuine risk. John Bowl, Wave 3 News. To tell this story, I have to start at the end.
We called all of the volunteers that adored this horse. They all came around and we put him down that night and it was amazing. And he was just relaxed and he wasn't tense and he wasn't stressed, and that was that.
The end of the line for thoroughbreds can come well past the finish line.
He died because he tried to stomp on a fly.
Yeah, a fly was bothering him and we were walking him in and he went like this to get the fly and he broke his leg.
How old is a horse supposed to live? What is life
Well, that's a
expectancy?
very good question because nobody's really kept him as long as we have.
Thoroughbreds often live long past their breadwinning and breeding days.
He loves getting his picture taken.
But then what happens?
And I knew it was happening on a regular basis in America. I mean, every 2 weeks, the slaughter trucks would pull up in Suffolk Downs, pick up about 10 horses, and off they'd go. At first, they told me, I said, where are they going? Oh, yeah, they're going to a riding academy in Maine.
Michael Blowen went from Boston's stable worker
And I saw everything. Get the game on, Jules.
to Boston Globe film critic.
One of the things I realized is that people like movie stars, they like stars, and these horses are stars.
When he noticed the horse industry's aftercare program was rated PG for pretty gory, he became a retirement home director.
Can I have a kiss? Thanks. You're my favorite horse of all time.
This retirement home doesn't use walkers or canes,
Yeah.
just carrots.
And this might be the most important part of my job.
You don't have to be Mr. Ed to quickly learn who the
Swan's Way will be happy now.
old friends are.
Oh, and this is Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Stop it. So get me out of here. Your paddock's almost done. It'll be done tomorrow or the next day, and you'll be able to live out there.
Old Friends Farm started 11 years ago with one leased paddock and only 2 horses. Now they care for more than 150 horses, but there's one big problem. The waiting list to get in here is long.
You know, there are horses that have been on our waiting list for 8, 10 months, a year, and I really want to take them, but I just don't have the room. I mean, what really makes us decide is how much room do we have?
How do you decide?
It's terrible to have to decide.
Really?
Yeah. Because
It's easy to decide to rescue horses like Swan's Way,
Hey, Swanee, what's going on?
who was still being raced at the age of 15.
The answer why they were doing it is because they were crazy. That's the answer, because there's no logical, rational explanation for this horse. Because I'm coming back. See, Jerry wants more carrots. He's getting mad now.
It's easy to rescue the rich and famous.
He's 20, I want to say 25. He's
How'd you get him?
25. Bert gave him to us.
Burt Backrack?
Mm-hmm. And Bert sent us a check for 50 grand.
It's tougher to rescue Eldifer,
There's Yahoo and Google.
who comes with 2 goats.
He adores the goats, and the goats adore him. And they're like the Secret Service, and he's like the president.
Some are champions, some never won a race. The horses come from all over the world.
And we brought him home from Italy. He was living in an abandoned monastery
In Italy.
in Italy.
The visitors come from all over the world.
I'm horsey.
She's horsey, so
it had to, I found it on the internet and we had to come. The fact that somebody's taking care of the retired racehorses, because it's a real big issue, both in England and over here, you know, and they're sort of the forgotten animals.
Michael Blowen didn't forget.
That's why I identify with these horses. My racing and breeding career's over too.
The best movie he never reviewed is showing all around him.
Stop it. It's my new shirt. Jeez.
And it's just a charismatic old folks home. In Georgetown, John Boll, Wave 3 News.